After a wild night at the club with the guy she was secretly seeing, my wife ended up in the hospital. A broken leg and a humiliating message carved into her back. You read that right. Carved. 3 bold, bloody words across her skin, just above her spine, in a font no tattoo artist would ever replicate. Property of a liar. Her lover? Barely breathing in the ICU, eyes rolled back, tubes everywhere. Cops pacing the waiting room like hungry wolves. And me? I was at home, sitting by the fireplace, sipping whiskey with his wife, Candace, watching the local news as the first reports of the club incident lit up the screen. My phone vibrated. Detective Walker. Unknown number. Mr. Taylor. Mind answering a few questions? I smiled, leaned back in my chair, and whispered into the phone. Of course, detective. I've got nothing to hide. Because I didn't. That night, my alibi was bulletproof. Candace and I had receipts, footage, and dinner witnesses. And I didn't lay a hand on either of them. But don't think for a second I wasn't involved. I was the architect of that chaos. The quiet storm behind the curtains. The man who watched his wife ruin everything we built, then turned her game into a *****ing war. Let's rewind. Because this mess didn't start with blood and sirens. It started with silence. With cold shoulders, locked phones, and one perfume I didn't recognize. Madison, my wife, had always been wild. Gorgeous, unpredictable, and full of fire. That's what pulled me in. But that same fire? It started burning me alive around 6 months ago. She started dressing different. Nights out turned into don't wait up. Suddenly, I was the boring husband with early meetings and a mortgage. She wanted excitement. I gave her love. She gave me Tyler. Tyler King. Wannabe DJ. Gym rat. Drives a Dodge Challenger and wears sunglasses at night. The type of guy who thinks bottle service makes him important. He was everything I wasn't, and everything she was chasing behind my back. How did I find out? Not through texts. Not by catching her in the act. No, it was her giggle. That fake little high-pitched laugh I hadn't heard since college. The one she only used when she was chasing attention like a schoolgirl. She thought I wasn't listening, but I heard her giggling through the bathroom door while on speakerphone. I didn't confront her that night. I waited. I watched. I recorded every lie, every sneaky movement, every late-night Uber ride. I let her think she was smart, that I was blind. But the moment she posted a story from Girls' Night, and I zoomed into the mirror reflection behind her, sunglasses, a sleeveless hoodie, and that dumb Challenger keychain, I knew. Tyler. That was the night I decided the game was mine now. I didn't yell, didn't scream, didn't touch her. I smiled, kissed her on the cheek, and told her I loved her. Then I started making calls. Candace was the key. Tyler's wife. She'd been suspecting something for weeks, but had no proof. Until I brought the receipts. Together, we became what Madison and Tyler would never be, partners. And we planned the perfect stage. A club, a blackout, a backroom confrontation that wouldn't involve us directly, but would leave a lasting mark. Literally. The message on her back? That was Candace's idea. She said Madison needed to feel it. The shame, the branding, the irreversible truth. Madison was found screaming, bleeding, crawling in heels she couldn't walk in. Tyler, he tried to fight back. Didn't go well for him. But like I said, I didn't touch them. And when the cops came knocking, I gave them wine, smiled, and handed them a receipt for the quiet dinner I shared with Candace across town at exactly 9:47 p.m., just as the paramedics were peeling my wife off the club's bathroom floor. But this is just the beginning. Because what Madison doesn't know, laying in that hospital bed, full of morphine and regret, is that I'm not done. Not even close. This isn't about getting even. It's about ending the game. Her betrayal broke the rules. Now I make the rules. She opened her eyes in that sterile hospital room and looked at me like I was supposed to care. Like I was supposed to lean in, take her hand, kiss her forehead, and whisper, "It's going to be okay." No, Madison. You threw okay off a balcony the day you let that clown unzip your dress in the back of his filthy car. Ethan, she croaked, voice raspy from painkillers. What happened? I leaned against the wall, arms crossed, calm like a man watching his favorite movie. You tell me, I said. Last I checked, you were going out for wine with Laura. How'd you end up in a club bathroom with your dress around your waist and a broken leg? She blinked. That same little twitch in her left eye she gets when she's about to lie. I don't remember. I think I was drugged. Of course. The classic escape route. Victim mode. I walked up to her bed, looked straight into her tired, stitched-up face, and whispered, "They carved the word liar into your back, Madison." That wasn't random. She looked away. Good. That's when Candace stepped into the room. You should have seen the color drain from Madison's face. Candace didn't say a word. She just stood at the door like a shadow from hell, arms folded, watching the woman who slept with her husband try to breathe through a fractured rib. Madison stammered, Why is she here?" I grinned. "Oh, she's with me." That hit her harder than the broken leg. "Are you serious?" "As a heart attack," I said, pulling up a chair. "See, while you were out doing your little sneak around, Candace and I were piecing it all together. Every lie, every sneaky message, every spa weekend, that turned into cheap motels and bathroom stalls." "I didn't mean," she started. "No," I cut her off. "You meant every second of it. You just didn't think I'd ever figure it out. You thought I'd keep playing the loyal husband while you played house with a guy who wears muscle tees in January." Tears welled up in her eyes. Not real ones. The kind she used when she wanted something. "You think I wanted this?" she hissed. "Do you think I planned for Tyler to get hurt? For me to end up like this?" Candace finally stepped forward. "No," she said. "You planned for me to never find out. You thought you were smart, Maddie. You were just loud." She reached into her bag and tossed a flash drive onto the hospital tray. "There's footage," Candace added coldly. "The club's back cameras. Your husband and I made sure they were backed up." Madison's mouth opened, then closed, like a fish gasping on dry land. "This is insane," she whispered. "You're framing me." "No one needs to frame you," I said. "You already built the gallows." I stood, grabbed my coat, and looked down at her. "You know what hurts the most?" I asked. "Not the affair. Not even the lies. It's that you didn't even try to hide how little I meant to you." Her lips trembled. "Ethan, please." I shook my head slowly. "No, Madison. Save your breath. You'll need it to explain all this to your mom. And the lawyer." Her eyes went wide. "Lawyer?" I smiled. "I'm divorcing you. You're going to lose the house, the car, and your social media deals. And when the nurses ask what happened to your back, you're going to have to lie again. Because the truth," I leaned in, "the truth will humiliate you." Then Candace and I walked out. We didn't say a word until we got to the elevator. She turned to me. "You sure you're okay?" "No," I replied, "but I'm done being quiet." And as the elevator doors closed behind us, I realized I wasn't broken. I was just getting started. You know what they don't tell you about revenge? It's not loud. It's not dramatic or messy. It's clean, precise, surgical. And the best part? They never see it coming. 2 weeks before Madison's hospital bed became her throne of shame, I was sitting in our kitchen pretending to be the clueless husband. Pancakes, coffee, fake morning kisses, the whole routine. Meanwhile, I was coordinating with Candace like we were planning a wedding, not a takedown. We had everything. Phone records, private messages, hotel bookings under fake names that weren't even clever. Mr. and Mrs. Knight, seriously? We weren't just watching them. We were studying them. Tyler had a routine. Every Friday after his gym session, he'd hit the same bar on 8th Street. He thought he was slick, always parking behind the building, texting Madison to wait 15 so they didn't show up together. She'd wear that red leather jacket she bought behind my back, the one I noticed magically appeared without a receipt. She told me it was a gift from Laura. Funny, Laura moved to Chicago last year. Their favorite club? Velvet Room. A dark, neon-lit mess of a place where drunk people became secrets and cameras were always malfunctioning. Except one didn't. That camera, positioned above the emergency exit, caught everything the night I put my plan into motion. Candace and I had a friend on the inside, a bartender named Leo. He hated Tyler, said he never tipped. So when we asked for access to the private backroom, Leo smiled and said, "I'll leave it unlocked." That night, Madison showed up in heels too high for a woman trying to sneak around, her lipstick smeared before she even ordered a drink. Tyler greeted her like a dog off the leash, hand on her waist, whispering filth in her ear. They vanished into the backroom, laughing. That was their last laugh. See, Leo made sure the room stayed dark enough for discomfort, but just bright enough to see the writing on the wall. And by wall, I mean Madison's back. I didn't hire anyone to do it. That's the genius part. Tyler had enemies. Old deals gone wrong. All I did was tell the right person where he'd be, with who, and what time. Madison got caught in the crossfire. And you know what? I don't feel bad. She carved that betrayal long before anyone carved her. The media caught on fast. Club attack leaves 2 injured, motive unknown. Photos leaked. The message on her back became viral. Property of a liar. T-shirts were printed. Memes exploded. And Madison? She couldn't delete fast enough. Her modeling sponsors dropped her. Fitness brands started pulling contracts. The influencer queen was now a punchline. And Tyler? He hasn't opened his eyes since the night it happened. The ICU calls it stable but critical. Candace visited him once. She told me she stood at his bedside and whispered, "I hope you hear this, Tyler. I hope you dream of it every night. You destroyed your family for a woman who can't even lie well." Cold. Perfect. Back at home, Madison had no idea how deep the damage ran. She tried texting me. "Please talk to me. I never meant for it to go this far. I love you." I didn't reply, because her love came in moans behind my back and lipstick-stained lies. And now? Now it was my turn to disappear. I took a leave from work, booked a short trip, left the house empty. No note, no explanation. Let her sit in the silence she created. Let her feel the echo of what she shattered. I wasn't gone forever, just long enough. Long enough for her to wonder if I'd ever come back. And long enough for me to decide if I even should. I disappeared for 5 days. No texts, no calls, no status updates. Just a blank space where I used to be. Madison had no idea where I went, and that was the point. She needed to feel what I felt for months. Ignored, confused, suspicious, helpless. She needed to rot in that empty house, opening the door every 5 minutes like I might walk through it. But I was already on the other side of the country, somewhere warm, quiet. I sat on a balcony at night with a bottle of bourbon and no memories. Just wind and waves and the absence of her voice. I didn't miss her. That's the wildest part. You think you're going to collapse without the person you built your world around. But once the lies rot away, all you feel is freedom. She tried calling me 42 times. I didn't pick up. She messaged my sister, emailed my boss, even tried contacting Candace. That was a mistake. Candace sent her one text. "He's done with you. Be done with yourself." I don't know what happened after that, but I like to imagine Madison screaming at her phone, sitting in the living room that used to be ours, surrounded by walls echoing her betrayal. On day 6, I flew back. Not for her. For me. I needed to see the wreckage. To know the storm did its job. When I walked into the house, it was dark. No candles. No fake attempt at a romantic apology. Just her, sitting on the kitchen floor in a hoodie and no makeup, eyes red, looking like a ghost that forgot to die. "Ethan," she breathed out, as if saying my name gave her air. I didn't say a word. She stood up slowly, limping slightly, her legs still healing from the night that changed everything. "I thought you left for good." I closed the door behind me and dropped my bag. I considered it. She reached out to touch me. I stepped back. Her hand hung there, trembling, before she pulled it back like it burned. "Can we please talk?" she whispered. I know I messed up. I know I don't deserve you, but I can't sleep. I can't eat. I feel like I'm going crazy." I almost laughed, because I had gone crazy first, listening to her lies night after night, gaslighting myself into believing I was paranoid. And now she was finally drowning in the poison she poured. She stepped closer. "You didn't deserve what I did. But Tyler was. He made me feel something. I was scared, bored. I don't know. Don't." I interrupted. "Don't you dare stand in front of me and say bored like it's a valid excuse for betrayal." She started to cry. "I made a mistake." "No," I snapped. "You made a series of choices. Over and over. And now you're upset because your fun blew up in your face." She folded into herself, shaking. "I don't want to lose you. You already did." Silence. Then, quietly, "What are you going to do?" I looked around the kitchen, the table we used to sit at for breakfast, the fridge still covered in photos of fake smiles. "I'm going to finish what I started," I said. Her eyes widened. "What does that mean?" "It means I've already filed for divorce. It means I've already contacted your sponsors and sent them the full story, including the footage. It means I'm not just erasing you from my life." I leaned in close. "I'm making sure the world sees who you really are." She crumbled to the floor. But I didn't stay to watch. I walked upstairs, packed the rest of my things, and walked back down with nothing but my keys. As I opened the door, she looked up with swollen eyes and said the last thing I ever expected. "Ethan, was it you?" I stopped. She didn't blink. That night at the club, The carving. The cameras. The timing. Was it you? I looked at her for a long time. Then I smiled. Doesn't matter now, does it? And I walked out. After I walked out that day, I swore I'd never speak to her again. But the thing about fire? It doesn't just burn the house. It lingers in the air long after the flames die. And Madison? She was still standing in the smoke, choking on everything she never thought would catch up to her. Within a week, she was everywhere, just not in the way she used to be. No more photo ops. No more vacation collabs or product sponsors. No more Madison Taylor lifestyle posts with her faked smiles and perfect filters. The influencer world turned its back fast. Screenshots of her texts leaked on Twitter. Clips of her giggling with Tyler in that club's dim lighting made their way to Reddit. Even her own followers turned on her. The comment sections were brutal. This the girl who preached about loyalty? Karma carved her better than any tattoo artist ever could. Imagine ruining your marriage for a dude who can't even breathe on his own now. I didn't post anything. Didn't defend myself. Didn't need to. The truth had its own legs. I focused on building my life again, minus the chaos. I moved into a clean apartment with real silence. No perfume clouds. No second phone hidden in the drawer. Just me, a couch, and the peace I'd forgotten existed. And yet, the calls kept coming. Blocked numbers. Unknowns. One night, I finally answered. Ethan, her voice, so fragile it was barely there. I didn't say a word. She continued, I know you hate me. I deserve it. But I need to tell you something. Something I haven't told anyone. I stayed silent. I'm being followed, she whispered. I think someone's watching me. Outside my apartment. My tires were slashed last night. My stomach twisted, not out of fear, but irritation. You sure it's not karma making house calls? I said coldly. I'm serious, she hissed. This isn't online hate. This is real. Someone's messing with me. You sure it's not one of Tyler's other side pieces? You weren't his only mistake, Madison. Silence. Then she said something that pulled the floor out from under me. I think it's someone you told. I froze. What? She kept her voice low. That night at the club, what happened wasn't random. You and Candace planned something. I know it. I don't care about the divorce. I deserved it. But whatever came after, this stalking, the threats, I think it's because of what you set in motion. I clenched my jaw. No one's coming for you, Madison, I said. They already did. You survived. But someone's still playing, she whispered. And I think they're not done. I hung up. And for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel victorious. I felt something darker. Not regret. Not guilt. Something in between. What if someone did take it too far? What if I opened the floodgates, and now there was something loose in her world, something I didn't control? I tried brushing it off. Told myself she was just scared, paranoid, spiraling like always. But the next night, I got a call from Candace. You hear about Madison? She asked. No. What? She got jumped outside her gym. Black eye. Broken wrist. Said the guy whispered. Liar gets what she deserves. I sat down. Heart dead still. Candace paused. You didn't do this, right? No, I said quickly. Did you? Of course not. Silence. Then who the hell did? She asked. And for the first time, I didn't have an answer. I thought the game was over. Turns out, it was just changing players. The night after Madison got jumped, I barely slept. Not because I cared about her anymore. That part of me died the moment I saw Tyler's name on her lock screen. But because I suddenly realized something terrifying. I wasn't the most dangerous person in her life anymore. And that meant things were spiraling into a place even I couldn't predict. I texted Candace first. Ethan, we need to talk. Tonight. She replied instantly. Candace, my place. 8 p.m. No phones. That last part chilled me. When I showed up, she already had 2 glasses of wine poured and the windows covered like we were prepping for war. Talk, she said. No small talk. No hugs. Just straight to business. I didn't send anyone after her, I said. Neither did you, right? Of course not, she said, clearly insulted. I wanted justice, not a felony. We sat there in silence for a long minute. I could hear the hum of the fridge and the occasional car passing outside, but inside, it felt like the calm before a bomb. Candace finally broke it. There's someone else involved. I nodded slowly. You think one of Tyler's enemies? She looked at me, her face serious. Tyler didn't just cheat on me, Ethan. He owed people. A lot of people. She walked over to a drawer and pulled out a folder. Old school. Thick with printed papers, photos, notes scribbled in red ink. I did some digging, she said. After everything blew up, I got curious. Turns out Tyler used to run scams. Crypto pumps, fake events, even debt collection fronts. He screwed a lot of people. I flipped through the folder. One name stood out. Brandon Malloy. Who's this? I asked. She looked away for a second before answering. Someone Tyler owed 60 grand to. Someone who went to prison for aggravated assault 3 years ago and got out 3 months before all this happened. I felt my throat tighten. You think he's after Madison? Candace nodded. If he thinks she was part of it, or just close enough to matter, then yeah. I leaned back, rubbing my temples. This wasn't part of the plan. I wanted her embarrassed, ruined online, not beaten half to death in a parking lot. Candace sat beside me and said something I didn't expect. You should warn her. I laughed bitterly. After everything she did to us. She looked at me, softer now. This isn't about forgiveness. It's about not becoming what they were. We planned revenge, not destruction. I looked into her eyes and saw something familiar. Not love, not even pity. Just the face of someone who'd gone through fire and didn't want to see someone else burn that way. So the next morning, I did it. I called Madison. She picked up on the first ring. Ethan. Her voice was cracked, tired. Listen carefully, I said. You're in danger, and it's not from me. It's from someone Tyler screwed over. His name is Brandon Malloy. Silence. Then a whisper. I know that name. Tyler mentioned him once. Said he'd kill him if he ever got out. Well, guess what? I said. He's out. And he might think you're part of Tyler's games. She didn't speak. I'm not calling again, I added. Get out of town. Now. I hung up before she could say anything. Because as much as I hated her, I wasn't going to let her die. Not like this. But what I didn't know? Brandon wasn't just after her. He had eyes on everyone who had ever touched Tyler's life. And that meant me too. I thought I was out. Done. Free. Clean. But Brandon Malloy had a different idea. It started with a note. No envelope. No return address. Just a scrap of paper shoved under the door of my apartment, written in all caps with black ink. You played a part. Now you pay a price. I stared at it for a long time. The handwriting was jagged, aggressive, like someone had stabbed every letter into the paper. I didn't panic. I didn't call the cops. Not yet. Instead, I checked the hallway cameras. Nothing. The footage cut out between 2:16 a.m. and 2:24 a.m. Perfect blackout window. Classic move. Whoever did this knew how to move. And that meant it was time to stop pretending this was just Madison's problem. I called Candace. She answered on the second ring. He found me too, she said before I even spoke. Dead bird on my porch this morning. Neck snapped. Jesus. All right, I said, pacing. We need to meet. Figure out how deep this goes. No, she said flatly. We need to disappear. Just for a while. This isn't a joke anymore. She was right, but I wasn't ready to run. Not yet. Because this wasn't just a threat, it was a message. And messages meant something. So I dug in. I called an old friend, Drew, who owed me a favor from back in college. A guy who now worked deep in cybersecurity. Drew had a way of making secrets scream. I sent him the note and gave him everything Candace found in that folder. Names, dates, deals Tyler had touched, people he'd conned. A day later, Drew called me back. Ethan, he said, voice low. You're on a list. My blood ran cold. What kind of list? He sighed. Brandon Malloy kept records while he was inside. Letters, names, connections. You, Candace, Madison, even Tyler's old gym trainer, all flagged. Some of them with red ink. What does that mean? Inmate code. Red ink means final. I sat down hard. My hand was shaking. He's not after revenge, Drew continued. He's after a purge. He's convinced everyone tied to Tyler helped screw him over. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. I hung up without saying goodbye. This wasn't just a grudge. It was a campaign. And I was next. That night, I packed a go-bag. Essentials only. Changed my phone. Wiped my laptop. And I did one more thing I swore I wouldn't. I called Madison. She picked up, her voice thin and breathy. Hello. It's me. You need to leave town. Tonight. I'm already gone, she said. Checked into a motel 2 states away. I didn't think you'd call. I had to, I admitted. We're all targets now. She was quiet for a second. Then she said something strange. Ethan, you think I deserved all this? I paused. No, I said. You deserve to be exposed. Not hunted. I didn't know Tyler owed that man, she whispered. I didn't know any of it. Doesn't matter now. Just stay low. I miss who we were, she added, like a child clinging to a bedtime story. That person died the moment you let someone else into our bed, I replied. Then I ended the call. Candace and I met one last time before splitting town. No tears, no romance, just strategy. We disappear, she said. New numbers, no social media, nothing that links us back. We agreed. I was about to leave when she touched my arm. If we survive this, she whispered, we never talk about Tyler again. I nodded. But deep down I knew. This wouldn't end with silence. It would end with someone bleeding. I should have vanished. Should have taken the new name, the prepaid phone, the clean slate, and just disappeared. But I didn't. Because when you've been hunted, really hunted, the only thing worse than fear is not knowing when it's coming. So I stopped running. I made a call to someone I hadn't spoken to in years, Marcus Wells. Ex-military. Ex-felon. Now a private security ghost who handled the kinds of problems that don't make the news. He owed me one. I cashed it in. Brandon Malloy, I told him. He's circling me and a few others. I want it stopped. Paper trail, he asked. None, I said. But I've got names. Faces. A dead bird, a threat note, a blackout security camera. He's trying to make a point. Marcus didn't hesitate. I'll find him. 3 days later, I got a text. Found him. Philly. Alone. Wants a war. I booked the next flight. No return ticket. I wasn't planning to fight. But I needed to see him. To face the man whose rage had swallowed my past, my ex-wife, and everything that once looked like a future. The meet was at a rundown warehouse outside Kensington. Classic cliché. Broken windows. Rusted gates. Darkness thick as smoke. Marcus waited near the exit, just a shadow against a brick wall. He's inside, he said. But I'll warn you, he's not right in the head. Neither am I muttered, stepping inside. The place stank of oil and something sour. Rats scurried across beams. And then, I saw him. Brandon. Mid-40s. Shaved head. Big hands. The kind of guy who looked like he could crack your spine with a handshake. He was sitting on a folding chair, a switchblade dancing in his fingers, smiling like the devil knew your secrets. You're Ethan, he said without looking up. Yeah. You helped ruin me, he added, like it was a compliment. You and your whore of a wife. Her boyfriend thought he could outsmart me. Turns out, betrayal runs in circles. I stepped closer. This ends now. He chuckled. You think you can threaten me? No, I said. I came to offer a deal. He raised an eyebrow. You leave Candace and Madison alone. You disappear. In return, I walk away and let you keep breathing. That smile widened. Why should I believe you? Because I brought something you want. I dropped the flash drive on the ground between us. Tyler's contacts. The real ones. His encrypted files. Every scam. Every burner wallet. Every dime he ever moved. Brandon's expression changed. Stillness. Hunger. He picked up the drive slowly, eyes locked on mine. You're telling me this gives me back my money? More, I said. It gives you leverage. Power. But only if you leave the rest of us alone. He stood up. Walked to me. Close enough to smell the tobacco on his jacket. I could kill you right now. You could, I said. But then this deal vanishes, and you spend the rest of your life running from ghosts and cops. We stared at each other. A long, silent war in a single look. Then he stepped back. Deal, he muttered. And just like that, it ended. I walked out of that warehouse feeling like a man reborn through hellfire. Madison never called again. Candace disappeared like she said she would, and I respected that. Sometimes, the only closure you get is the silence you fought to earn. What did I learn? That betrayal leaves scars no one sees. That love is just as dangerous as hate. And that sometimes, revenge doesn't heal you, it only sets you free. If you're reading this and wondering what to do when the person you trusted most stabs you in the back, here's my advice. Don't chase justice. Become it.